Hold on. I have a guitar. Like you think I'm playing? Right? I'm serious, guys. Like I'm on it. Come. Hold on. Nah, I did it! Did you hear that? Oh my god! Yo, listen. Okay, guys. Okay, all right. I'm gonna switch off my friend. That's listen, Andre Bocelli. Like, listen. That's one guy. I'll tell you this now, and I promise my boys. We're gonna go watch him. Like, it's one guy. He can sue me tomorrow, but I don't have no copyrights. But no, I played the note. Like, some of you are laughing. Like, some people are laughing. It's funny, right? It's funny for you because you don't know how to play guitar. I do, right? Anyway, Bocelli was in the house. So anyway, if you don't listen to classical music, you probably think it's for old folks. You're wrong. Classical music is classic. It's beautiful. It's for people that, they understand who they are. If you don't listen to classical music, you don't belong to this group. People who listen to classical music, they know who they are. They understand intuitively what life is about, what they like to do. They're okay, all right. I'm gonna stop there, right? So guys, how you doing? How's everybody doing? I'm seeing some friends. Hey guys, Penny, Romano, Arnold, Daniel Chaudhry, the main man. I'm seeing Philip. I'm seeing a lot of great people on the call. Vivian, I'm seeing Michaela. How you doing, guys? So thanks for tuning in, man. Thanks for tuning in. If you're excited, type 1 in the comments. If you're excited, just type 1 to say, I am excited. If you're not excited, type 0. Okay? All right. Bernard, Eden Mills, how you doing? Okay, great. So we're going to have a great show. This is like a mentor concert. It's a mentor concert. We're going to have some fun, but we're going to learn a lot of stuff. We're going to have, lots of little nuggets and stuff like that. Everything I'm about to share with you is experience. It's stuff that I've done in my life. These are things that have made me fail, things that have made me succeed. Yeah. If you're not putting one, I know, listen, and I'm going to put a contest. The most engaged person by Friday. I'm going to send you a little something in the post. Yeah. It may be cash. It may be, I'm not a billionaire yet, so probably it won't be over $100, but it will be something just to say, well done. Okay, so get excited, get fired up. This is going to be some kind of train ride that you don't want to miss. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, listen. Yeah. I know that. I know. Bocelli. Yeah, Anya, that's it, man. That's it. If you don't listen to classical music, you got to go check yourself. Just go have a doctor's appointment and say, look, I need to fix this part because the doctors, are going to tell you what's going on with your brain, why you're not connecting to classical music. Anyway, guys, my name is Danny. I'm the founder of Lose Your Mind. Lose Your Mind. I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. Some say global entrepreneur. I have lots of interest in lots of businesses in different parts of the world. So I have had my fair share of beating up myself, working. I have a fascination for pain. I have love for people. I'm excited. I'm a little bit nuts, so hence my title of Lose Your Mind. Go crazy. There's a degree of insanity in everybody that's successful. You're not going to meet some successful person that's a little bit like, whatever. No. They have a level of craziness that only happens, for people who are, pursuing a higher goal in life, a little bit higher than themselves, So why I like this subject of sales is because that's my background. That's what I do, and that's what I'm really good at. And I'm about to expose it to you. And I think some of you, after you leave the call, you're going to be a little bit confused and say, hold on a sec, I didn't know that. There's going to be one or two things that I pull up that you've never heard of, or you probably have listened to, but never really assimilated in your blood, in your cellular system. Today is going to be part of it, right? So I want to ask a question. Go ahead. If you're in sales, if you're in direct sales, put a 5 in the comments box. If you're in direct sales, put a 5. If you run your own company, put a 5 in the comments box as well. I'm trying to understand the audience that I have. My background is, I'm a guy who comes from a really humble background. I was raised in a very beautiful family, spiritual family. They love God. Very hard-working family. My mother and father both worked really hard. My father was a civil servant. He beautifully just, recently left to be with the Lord. But, what a man, like a great icon for humanity. I love this guy. I always love him. But listen, what's beautiful about it is I've come to realize that life can be so beautiful, man. Life can be so beautiful. And here's a man whose power, and I say his power was it wasn't in havingness. It was in beingness. It was being so abundant and so big and so gracious and so grateful, so graceful. And he taught me humility. He taught me grace. He taught me power that's really subtle. So really, that's just me eulogizing my father. But I want to tell you a story. As I grew up, I started to develop this fascination for money. I started thinking, man, people make this kind of money. I started, learning about why people had, 3 cars. I was like, why do people have 3 cars? My father could barely maintain his second-hand car, and then eventually he didn't have one, and then we had another one, and then it was weird, and then I left. So when I left to go to secondary school, I remember I was in school where lots of kids were from, affluent families. The first school was terrible. It was in the jungle. They threw me somewhere in the bush like it was some kind of a military thing. I don't know why. But anyway, we left that, and, I was told to leave the school. I'm not going to go into that story. I was gently fired. So I left the school and I went to another school in Kampala. And that's where I studied. And I remember being 15, 16, and a lot of my friends were rich. They were so rich. They were from rich families, and I thought, wow. And so I had to hustle. So I started selling stuff at the age of 15. One, it was to fit in. The second thing was to, just not have school lunches and stuff, because in school I don't know if they still do the same. They used to cook rubbish. It was like beans that had little insects crawling and all this kind of stuff. It was terrible. So we used to, if you ate that food, you went cool. If you ate, the food, there was a lady who used to come, like a big mama. She would sit there, larger than life, and sit under the tree and dominate the space. And she had all this stuff. She had chapatis, and, and I had to say, look, I can afford it. So we became friends. Her name was Nalongo. So I used to go, Nalongo. She's like, okay, do you have money today? I said, no money today, but I'm good for it, So I started negotiating at a very young age, and then, it was really difficult. When I was on vacation, I couldn't really, I didn't have any money. So I wanted to do all the other stuff that my rich friends did. They drove their dad's car, so I couldn't drive anything. And I had to learn how to make money. So one of the things I did, my brother had a shop. I used to go, spend some time, watch him. Eventually, I developed some customers and I started to sell, hardware in Nakasero. It was amazing. And then, it got to a point where I couldn't really afford it, because I used to go out, we just go clubbing and you'd buy a little drink, like you'd buy one beer for like the whole night, and we weren't even allowed to drink. So anyway, fast forward to what happened, something happened, and I realized you can actually make money. I said, wow. So some days I would make a lot of money, and some days I didn't make anything, and some weeks I made money. So it got to a point where I couldn't really eat food every day. So we had a thing that we used to do. Me and my friend Nick, we used to go 1 meal a day. We used to talk about 1 meal a day. So it's a long story. I came from, I wouldn't say, at the time it wasn't that bad. And then it went from there, it just plummeted to abject poverty where I couldn't really eat for like 3-4 days. And then there was a period I went through a time when I couldn't eat for about 3 weeks. I almost died in the house. So I understand pain, and I'm fascinated by pain. Pain inspires me, drives me. It gives me this craving of, I just say, bring it on. I just love it. I love pain. So you know, when I was a younger person and I'd moved to England, I actually I tried to work, and I got a job, a conventional job. Again, they fired me after 1 month because I didn't understand why I wasn't the boss. I was like, so why am I not the supervisor, right? So it was like a cleaning job in a really big hotel, you know, where Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson used to come. And they used to see all these cars coming in, and they would park their beautiful cars outside. And I saw the concierge guys, they had these hats, they had this long gown, and they would be standing there looking all pristine. And then these guys would come in, and then they would give the bellboys the bags, and then the guys at the valet would just drive the car off, and then they would park it, and they would come back and say, wow, that was a beautiful car. And I'm going, wow. So for me at the time, that job looked amazing. I thought, these guys get to hang out and, you know, drive Rod Stewart's car. They get to sit in the car that, you know, some superstar or footballer had been sitting in. So it was really amazing. It was amazing. So what happened is, hey, Jan, Tyra, I've seen some people pop in a little late. But listen, so what happened was, this was amazing, man. This was so beautiful. So I watched it and I thought, wow, these guys are actually, they get to experience what these celebrities experience. So I was working in a hotel. So I got fired from that job as well. The guy said, look, man, you know, you have a bad attitude or whatever. I said, man, I'm just cleaning, right? Like, you know, I'm good. Like I can, you know, when I get stuck into something, you know, I'm good. Like I'm really good. So anyway, fast forward, I got, they appointed me that the general manager was my friend. We were, you know, talking terms, and he gave me a job at the concierge. That's when I realized that I wanted more than what I was seeing. The smell, the way those people smell, it was so different. People smelled, I thought, wow. They would come in and they would hand you the bags, and then they would open the rooms and you get in, and they throw you like 10 pounds. I go, wow, this is amazing. These people live like this. Like you can have this life. And I started saying, what do they do? What kind of work do they do? I was so fascinated by, you know, how does a man get to this point? And they were walking around and it looked like they were from a different planet. So I started thinking, I want to find out what they do. So sales saved my life. Sales saved my life. I answered an ad in the newspaper that said, listen to me. I answered an ad that said, crazy people required. Now you understand why I'm fascinated by insanity. Crazy people required. He's a friend of mine. He's one of my dearest friends right now, Dominic Kutaski. And he said to me, you know, come over. So I went over. Anyway, it's a crazy thing. You know, sales companies are so bizarre. Anybody who is running a sales company, put a 5 in your inbox. So if you're your own boss, just type 5. Just type 5. If you're your own boss, type 5. Right? Listen to this, yeah. And I want to ask you this question, right? How many of you, when you hear the word sales, you get terrified? Write a 1. If you get terrified, if you hear the word sales and you feel like, whoa, that's really scary, right? Okay, type a 1 in your comment box, yeah? How many of you, when you hear the word sale or doing sales or being in a business that requires that you do sales, you get excited? Type a 5. Just put in the number 5 in there. I want to know, because after this, I'll be able to assess who is in this tribe, yeah? And this is really important, okay? So I understood a long time ago that if I had to make money, I had to be my own boss. So when I applied for a job for this company, they didn't even offer me the position. Romano knows this story. Romano is on this call. They didn't offer me the position. I was like, yo, how are you not going to offer me a job? The guy said, you have a bad attitude. Just like the cleaning company. I thought, I have a bad attitude? Like, I'm from South London. South London, we know attitude. Like, we're hard. Like, we used to walk around South London. How are you going to say to me I have a bad attitude? So I said to the guy, I said, who is your best guy? Who is your best sales guy in this office? There was a guy called Tony Oman. And I said, okay, so if I do better than Tony Oman, give me 1 week. And I'm going to learn what this guy does. And I'm going to do it better. I said, can you allow me that space? And he said, well, okay, Danny, yeah, just try. He goes, but I guarantee you, you're going to fail. Wow, man. That was a challenge. So I was so excited. I thought, all I have to do is work hard. Now, this is a beautiful thing. If you're not in sales or you think you're not in sales, I'm going to give you some advice right now, okay? One is, sales doesn't require any experience. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care your background, your demographic. It doesn't care about your religion, your creed. It doesn't care about your preferences. It really doesn't care. Sales is an equalizer, man. Wow, you can just be whatever you want. So, after 1 week of being in the business, I smashed it. We were selling rubbish. We were selling things that didn't even work. We were selling, I remember, Romano, you remember this. We were selling sewing machines. We had to hold it at an angle. You had to hold it at a particular angle. And when you held it at an angle, it worked. It just about, limped into. And then after that, you'd walk away and pray that the guy doesn't see you after, 2-3 days. You'd be like, dude, here's your sewing machine. Keep the $10 or 10 pounds or 5 pounds. I can't remember how much we're selling it at. We were selling rubbish. We sold all kinds of stuff. But really at the time, what I didn't realize is we were learning so much about ourselves. We were building our character. We were building our character. Your success is buried in your character. It's not cash, it's character. It's not a qualification, it's your character. And sales taught me that. And I remember leaving the office in the winter and going out to see 300 people a day, 300 folks you had to speak to. And 90% of those would say, no, get out. They would chase you out, throw you out of there. It was crazy. It was crazy. So sales can be an unusual punishment. But I want to tell you something. And this is really important. So sales is what food is to the body, to a business. I want you to catch this. Sales is what food is to the body, to a business. I want you to catch this. Sales is the lifeline for any business. Nobody gets paid, no money gets made until something is sold. So everything about the business that you're in, the company you run, the people you work with, listen to me, man, it's from sales. Okay, so I'm gonna go there now. Okay, selling is a universal skill. It's something that you need. You go to places and you're buying something for your bathroom, and they say this is universal. That means it fits everywhere. Okay, sales is a universal skill. You don't want it, you need it. You need sales. If you don't do sales, your career, the longevity of your financial health is cut short if you don't know how to sell. The longevity of your financial health is cut short if you don't know how to sell. Sales is the lifeline for any business. Watch, right? Selling is a universal requirement for a business. Any business that starts, if it doesn't have a sales department, it's not going to survive. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter what business you run. Very important. Jot these things down, okay? One of the things that I'd like you to understand, whether you know it, whether you believe it, whether you understand it, or whether you think it's true or it's not true, whatever job you're doing in that company, you're selling. If you're a nurse, you're selling health services. The people who come into contact with you, the way you treat them, the way you look after them, they make a decision not to come back or to come back. Do you understand? They make a decision to come back or not to come back. If you're a lawyer, you're selling. So one of the things that we have to understand about sales, you have to master the craft of selling. For anybody who has any aspirations to run a business, you have got to, the first requirement to understand is, can you sell? And this is what average people say to me. They say, Danny, don't like sales. Listen, if you're terrified of sales, you're terrified of success. If you're terrified of sales, you're terrified of success. Okay? So I wrote some stuff here, and I want to make sure that we don't miss this out, right? So when somebody has an idea, for that idea to take a hold or to gain traction or to be recognized, you have to sell the idea, don't you? We sell ideas. That's what we do. We sell ideas, okay? We sell ourselves. You sell yourself, all right? You sell a concept. You sell a plan. You say, I have a plan. I'd like to sell it to you. You sell a business, right? Okay. You sell lies. Some of you, you know what I'm saying? You sell lies. You go, I wasn't late, man. Like I was outside. The place was locked. Believe me, man. You're selling. You're selling. Okay. We're selling our skill. You go for a job interview. The first thing they ask you, they go, what skills do you have? And they sit back. Guy looks at you and he goes, tell me, what can you do for us? Okay. So we're always selling. We're always selling, whether we know it, whether we like it, whether we believe it, whether we understand that we are. Sales is a universal skill and it's a requirement. It's mandatory that you know how to sell yourself. So one of the things you've got to start doing is say to yourself, you know what? The first thing I need to get rid of is get rid of the stigma. Somebody has brainwashed you to think that, oh my God, sales, that's terrible. What does your boyfriend do? He's in sales. Oh my God. You're going out with a salesperson? Are you that desperate? Wow. Some of you know. You go out, you're looking for her hand in marriage. And the dad says, what does your boyfriend do? What's your fiancé do? He's a salesman. Listen, my daughter, I trained you well enough to understand not to bring losers to my house. So there's a stigma that society has attached to sales as an industry. And it's okay, because the reason I understand and I appreciate it is because they don't really know. They don't understand it. They don't understand it. And I'm going to bring it to you. So we must understand, this is one of the things that really shocks me, right? Who knows the richest man in the world? Who knows the richest man in the world? If you know his name, just type it in the comments box, yeah? Just type his first name or last name or whatever. The richest man in the world. His valuation is 145 billion personal wealth. His net worth is 145 billion US dollars is his net worth. He's a salesman. He's a salesman. And what makes him a salesman is because he actually understood that he's a salesman. Yes, Jeff Bezos, yeah? Okay, so you guys know him, yeah? So he understood that he's a salesman. And he put it in the right gown and he said, I am proud of what I'm a salesman. And then he went to work and he said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find a way to automate my sales process. Because there's nothing that Jeff Bezos sells that he manufactures. He doesn't manufacture anything. This guy is a middleman. You manufacture socks, he sells it for you. You manufacture furniture, he's selling it for you. You want to sell books, no problem. Whatever you want to sell, everything you sell, listen to me, everything you sell, he can sell for you. You want to do phones, no problem. Whatever you're selling, he can sell it for you. So he automated the sales process, and now he's one of the richest people to ever step on the planet, probably the richest person to ever live in terms of our generation. I'm not talking about King Solomon. That one is legendary. That's biblical. That's different stuff. That's heavenly wealth, But this guy, he's a salesman. Watch. So people say, but how does somebody make so much money? Like, do you know, I don't know if you understand it, like 145 billion. Now, did he do it because he's a salesperson? He did it because watch this, he changed his mentality about his perception of sales. His friends laughed. I'm pretty certain that when Amazon was being hatched, when he was launching his vision of Amazon, people laughed. People said, are you nuts? Like, are you stupid? There's Walmart. You know, they're mentioning all these shops, Debenhams, they have all closed down. Debenhams is just going into administration. Some of you who know the UK, you know what I'm talking about. This is unbelievable. Like, how do you get Debenhams into administration? They've all gone into administration. All these big, massive retail stores. Why? Because Amazon showed up. So one guy was crazy enough, or he lost his mind, and he decided that he was going to take everybody else's products and put it on a virtual mall. Right? People laughed. Right? I don't know if they're still laughing. Because I think every economy in the world, when they have a meeting, they say, let's ask Jeff. So I want you to think about that. And when you look at the top 10 people, you know, there's a lot of people. Alison, you look at Gates, and you look at, you know, Warren Buffett, and these guys, some of the wealthiest people in the world. You know, they have products, but they have a pretty solid sales system, right? Warren Buffett buys and sells. When people are selling, he's holding. When people are buying, he's selling. You know, he figured out a way to trade in stocks and bonds and various other instruments, and he makes an absolute fortune. But he's a salesman. He's a middleman. The richest people in the world own nothing. They just sell stuff that other people make. The most stressed people in the world manufacture things. They make things. They go, you know, what's the production like? No. Listen, when you look at the top 100 list, you find telecoms guys in there. You find guys who actually are, they may have a manufacturing plant somewhere, like Dangote does with cement or whatever. But what he has is he has a very powerful supply chain. You know, people buy stuff from him. So you need to understand that your most powerful asset is completely irreplaceable and it will never expire, is your ability to sell, to generate revenue from nothing. You don't have to own a product. You just have to own the process of taking that product to market. If you get that, you're going to be rich. So I'm going to fast forward now, okay? So I just wanted to give you some ideas, okay? So this is what these guys do. So Jeff Bezos had an idea, and I wanted to be sequential today because normally I do these things off the cuff, but I wanted to really give you something really tangible. So he had an idea and he bought into the idea. So what is your idea? Look at the ideas you have and say, what are you actually selling? Is it a product? Is it a service? So buy into it. The first thing is you have to buy into your idea and be 100% convinced. You have to be, you have to be converted. You have to be 100% convinced that you have the best idea. So commit to that idea. That's number one, okay? And number two, then you have to be able to sell the idea to your stakeholders or people that you want to bring into the team. Do you understand? You have to start selling your idea to people you want to bring into the team. Watch what happens then. Then they will buy into it. So you're selling. All right? And then those people will take the idea and they will sell it to institutions or perhaps people that you want to source funds from, or you want to have as your service providers. You're looking for infrastructure and you're looking for some kind of, facility from them or whatever. You say, look, guys, believe in us. I'm telling you. We're going to do, I'm sure, Jeff Bezos had to go to FedEx and all these other companies and say, logistically, we need to fix, how we're going to do it. I'm sure he didn't go and buy warehouses. He looked for people that own warehouses and he said, what if I could actually put my products in your warehouse and I can cut you in on a deal? I'm going to have the biggest shopping mall in the world and it's going to be virtual. It's going to be in the air. So Amazon has warehouses everywhere. This dude, his first job was to sell. He sold the idea to himself. He sold it to his team. He sold it to institutions. He sold it to financial institutions. He was going broke. He was at the tail end of things and he was looking for $50,000 or he was going to shut down. And he believed it in so much. He said, look, I'll remortgage my house however many times I have to until I get this money. And he sunk in his last $50,000. And watch what happened. Then we bought into the idea. The world, a small part of the world bought into the idea. And then they strengthened. And then he employed people that thought, I know how to do IT. Come over here. I know how to do finance. Come over here. Because he's not a finance guy. Do you understand? So he pulled in some resources and he sold them. And I'm sure, you know what happens as entrepreneurs? Sometimes you have to look people in the eye and say, look, man, I can't afford you, but I need you to work with me. If you don't know how to sell, you're not going to put together a team. You need to sell your vision to your people and say to them, look, I can't pay you for 3 months. I can give you transport and some money for your family, but I can't pay you. But I need you to come with me. I'm opening up the biggest shopping mall in the world and it's in the air, somewhere in ether, right? People go, you're nuts. We're opening the biggest website in the world, right? Biggest website in the world where people can just be friends. We're going to call it Facebook. Do you think that, what's his name? Mark Zuckerberg. Do you think he's a salesman? Of course he is. People say he's a techie. Are you kidding me? Steve Ballmer, Microsoft. He's the 6th richest man in the world. 6th. 5th is Mark Zuckerberg. Number 5 is Mark Zuckerberg. Right? I can't even say his name. But these guys are all salespeople. They lie to you. So when your folks sit you down, when your friend, your girlfriend, your boyfriend sits you down and say, you're crazy. What are you doing? You're going to do sales? Are you out of your mind? You say, are you out of your mind? You don't want me to do sales? I went to the dentist, man. I had an experience at the dentist. She was Brazilian. She was beautiful. She was really beautiful. She was Brazilian. She said to me, man, she said, you have great teeth. And I said, thank you. She said, coming in. And she took me. She's a dentist, guys. She took me in. She did whatever she was doing, checking and putting all things. And she kept mentioning, she puts this, she goes, number 6. You know how they do it. If you've been to the dentist, you know what I'm saying. If you haven't been to the dentist, shame on you. You should go to the dentist. But anyway, she started saying all these things. And then this nurse is writing it down. And then in the end, she says, so Mr. Mugarura, so we need to fix you. There's a lot of things we need to fix and stuff. And I go, what do you mean? Like, I'm fine. I just came for a checkup. I'm good. Like, I don't have holes in my teeth. Listen, man, when I saw the pro forma invoice, it was 2,300 pounds. And she was graceful. She was so nice. She was smelling nice. She was so beautiful. She was so kind. She was so polite. She smiled at me the whole way. And I'm going, are you serious? Are you a dentist? She wanted me to pay 2,300. So I'm going, so what is this? What does this cover? She said, so we're going to do this. Listen, man. And then I said, okay, let me, I need to think about this. I said, let me make a phone call. Because I was thinking to myself, am I stupid? Because I've been caught before. I spent $800 in Dubai in a shopping mall, in a pharmacy. And I didn't buy any medicine. It was supplements. When I got back, I read on the thing. My kids were dying with laughter. They were like, Dad, they heard you, man. I was like, what? I didn't know because I was like, dirham. I said, yeah, no problem. I just pay, man. It's not a problem. So this woman, she said to me, I'm going for lunch, so after lunch we can fix you. I said, you go on ahead and I'll be in the lobby. Let me just make a phone call and I'll organize everything and I'll come back to you. So she kept coming in the reception, talking to the lady in the reception. So I saw her and I was like, hey, I can't remember her name is like Maria. So I said, I think I want to go and have a think about this. I said, can you give me like an hour? She said, no, I'm here. I said, but when you come back from lunch, she goes, no, lunch can wait. Let me just wait for you. Are you kidding? She's a dentist. She knows she's a saleswoman. So I went back home and I called the dentist who my family uses. They did the same job. It was still expensive. It was about 800 pounds. They cleaned me and they had, there was nothing wrong with my teeth. But I wanted a good service. It was still 800 pounds, but listen, I was gonna get charged like 3 times by this Brazilian doctor. So don't be fooled. Some people think I'm not in sales, Danny. Like, I don't do sales. You do. That's your job. You're a salesperson, right? So if that's the case, You need to study sales like people study medicine. You need to study sales like people study law. You need to study sales like it's a faculty. You need to be proud of it. You need to love it. You need to start telling people, I'm in sales. They go, what? You go, yeah, I'm in sales. I feel sorry for people when they're not in sales. I go, what do you do? They go, I do finance. And I go, what about sales? They go, what? You do sales? When I'm going on my plane and I'm sitting first class, people ask me, they go, what do you do? I say, I'm a salesman. They go, what do you mean? I go, I'm a dealer. They go, yeah, you're a dealer. I can see that. Yeah, all right, nice to meet you. But they start looking at you funny. But I run a dealership. One of my dealerships is a Salad Master dealership, yeah? So one of my businesses is a dealership. So I can say I'm a dealer, but I'm in sales. Some of you guys know, Romano knows. We used to go, I can't say it we used to go and sell shit from a bag, man. That's what I do. That's my job. People go, what? So how are you here? Why are you sitting with us, And you're sitting with these guys and you're smoking a cigar and you're in a top restaurant, you're in a top bar. Back in them days when we used to be able to be allowed to do anything in a restaurant. So my point is, guys, just wake up. Wake up. They told you that sales was for the chosen few. Sales is a life skill. Okay. Now, let me give you some statistics. If you're average at sales, you're probably broke. If you're average at sales, you're probably broke. If you're good at sales, you're surviving. If you're great at sales, you probably are rich. You make money, you're good, you can go on holiday, you have a nice car, your husband has a nice car, your wife has a nice car, your kids go to okay schools. If you're great at sales. If you master sales, you're probably wealthy. There are other factors, financial literacy, discipline, all of those things are important. Yeah. And you have to have a great product too. Okay. So become a master, because it doesn't really matter what you're going to do. I'm going to be a consultant. Even if you're going to run a consultancy, I'll tell you something now. Even if you're going to run a consultancy, you need to learn how to sell. Who are you going to consult for if you don't know how to present yourself? You're going out there to give a pitch and I'm nervous. I'm going, dude, this one is going to mess it up. I need to trust that you're going to represent my concepts, my ideas, my plan, my projections with verve, with attitude, with oomph. You need to be able to bring it. So my investors are saying, whoa, I don't know what this company does, but this one, you need to go to every sales presentation and people want to hire you. If people don't want to hire you, you're not good enough. Every single place you go and you make a presentation, they should say, look, why don't you come work for me? So I asked them a question. I said, how long will it take me to get your job? And they go, what do you mean? I go, you said I should work for you. How long should it take me before I get to your position? They go, no, I own the company. I go, that's what I'm saying. I want to own my company as well. So how long before I own my company? When I work with your company? They won't answer that. They'll be like, yeah, you're a bit stupid, whatever. You say, I know, I lost my mind a long time ago. I belong to a tribe called Lose Your Mind. We lost our minds. We want to have it. Because they're not better than you. They're just doing something you're probably not doing, or they've been doing it a bit longer than you've been doing. Are you enjoying this? I mean, put a 1 in there. Just say, Danny, in fact, put a 10. If you're enjoying it, put a 10. If you're not enjoying it, I'm going to switch this thing off. Or I can stop playing that. I can just pull out my guitar and just sing for you. Forget all this, training. But let me go back to it. So, selling is not about, listen, this is a big one. Now, this is controversial. So people say, put number 6 in the comment box if you think selling is about providing a solution. Put number 6 in the comments box. And there's a contest. If you're not participating, some of you are not even putting your number 10. Number 10 means that you're enjoying me. If you're not enjoying me, I'm gonna switch off, right? Oh, okay, all right. I got some fire. I got fire, Mikey. Yeah, cool. Oh, I got some fire. Oh, listen, Kevin said he's screaming. I got some. Oh my, I'm good. Right, let's do this. Let's do this. Right. So if you think sales is about providing a solution, thanks, Tyra. If you think sales is about providing a solution, put number 6 in the box. Is sales about, when you're selling a product, is your primary objective to provide a solution? That's the question I got to ask you. That's the question. Is that the answer? Put number 6. If you believe me, if you don't believe me, put I don't believe you. Okay, 6. Selling is about providing a solution. It's about providing a solution. If you don't provide a solution, you're not supposed to be in sales. I'm waiting. I see a few 6s. Okay, lots of 6s, lots of 10s, lots of 10s. Lots of 6s. Okay, guys, I'm gonna take a commercial break. Okay. Oh, pirates, yes. Okay. Is sales about providing a solution? Hit me with it. Is this about providing a solution? Okay. So all of you put 6. A lot of you put 6. That's great. That's great. That's great. Okay. So are you ready? Okay. Sales. Listen to me very carefully. Sales is not about providing a solution. Let me explain to you why. And I know I'm right. And you probably think, Danny, no. Yes, I'm right. Let me tell you why. Can I tell you why? Right. Selling is not about providing a solution. It's about selling an idea that what you have to offer will provide a solution. Did you get it? Did you get it? Sales is a concept. Selling to somebody, the point of sale, they call it POS, yeah? At the point of sale, you have no proof that what you're selling is actually going to address my issue, right? Watch. I've been to places. I've even bought a light bulb, just a bulb. And they go, yeah, that's the right bulb. Yeah, I go, okay. And I take it home and it doesn't work. And I go, but it didn't work for me. But it actually worked for my neighbor. Or, you go out, you buy something and they go, if you take this, you put this on and whatever this happens, this is going to make you feel really great. Take this tablet. What do you take? I take ibuprofen. What do you take? I take paracetamol. You go buy paracetamol and it doesn't work for you. You go, this thing don't work for me. The salesperson behind the till selling paracetamol thinks that they're actually providing a solution. You're providing, listen, your job is to sell the idea that what you're proposing is actually worth buying. Watch this. Why is that? Because it actually may represent a solution. The aftermath of sales is proof that what you bought was a solution. Somebody's saying, how about providing value? Value is perspective. Value is you. It's your perception. Is this valuable to me? Value is nothing is valuable until you give it meaning. People think having a Rolls Royce or having a Rolex or having it's great value. Other people say, but hey, I drive a Toyota and I'm good with that. That's value. Because it's a cheap car, but it's a really good runner. That's what they call it. It's a good runner. Okay? So value is not really about, it's personal. It's personal. Let's not go into that conversation. So there's no proof at the point of sale. I had no idea. Like the dentist, listen, she was going to sell it to me. I was like, whoa, do I really need this? Right? So listen. So let me give you an idea. When you're selling a product, master this. And if you master this, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. What is in it for me equals a sale if the person, listen to me, I'm going to say that again. Everybody has a sign on their forehead that says, what is in it for me? So you're selling them a phone and they're saying, what is in it for me? When I buy that, what's in it for me? What value? Somebody asked, Alexander asked value. What's in it for me? what's in it for me? Now I'm coming to your point, Alexander. What value does it, represent to me? Personally, I have an opinion about what I'm buying. Some people think, buying a Balenciaga or somebody like that, some name, Brioni, they go, I'm wearing a Brioni suit. And you go, yeah. They go, do you know how I feel? This is the most valuable possession I have. And some of you may look at that, you go, my suit is from Marks and Spencer's and I'm fine with that. It's like people who say they hate Ferraris, and I go, why? They go, I just hate them. They're so small. They're for one person and another person. And they're showy and they're for people who have too much money to burn. There's lots of poor people that, eat nothing. And I go, can you just not tell the truth and say, I can't afford it? If you can't afford something, usually you don't like it. So really, this is it. Your ability to activate this as value in a human mind. Listen to me. Your ability to activate the what is in it for me aspect in the human mind is what's going to determine how successful you become in your business. Not in your sales business, in your business. Your ability to activate the what is in it for me concept in a human mind is what's going to make you rich. Let me give it to you like this, okay? So this is a formula that I use, and I'm going to teach you this. Normally, I don't like talking about this publicly, but I'm going to share this with you, right? So one is activate. So you activate value in their mind. You go, let me identify what Alexander wants to actually get from this product. It's what do you draw from a phone? Some people draw, it's prestigious. So that's your value. It's simple to use. That's your value. It has a good camera. That's your value. It doesn't mean that one is wrong or one is more right than the other. Perception is reality. So sales is about activating the concept of what's in it for me. When you can activate that, watch this. You activate that. Watch this. They visualize it. So I go, Alexander, based on what you said, you obviously like things that are really simple. You have a small purse and you want to put your phone in there. And I understand. So the iPhone fits right there and it's very easy. Very easy for the finger as well when you're texting. You go, I don't care. As long as it's a small phone, I want it. So now she visualizes herself, or he visualizes himself putting the phone in the bag or in his pocket as a small phone. That's good. And then he wants to actualize it. So, activate, and then they start to visualize. Because every human being thinks in pictures. So they visualize it. Once they visualize it, they want to actualize it. When they want to actualize it, what do? They acquire it. That's where you say, oh, they bought it. They didn't buy the proof of solution. They bought the concept that it may provide a solution based on their perception of what's valuable to them. So your ability to activate what's in it for me in somebody's mind, a prospective customer's mind, equals to your success rate in sales. Watch this. When you learn how to activate, when you can get them to visualize by painting pictures, you go, this car really, it's a really nice car. And they go, yeah, it's a really nice car. Guess what? There's BMW, there's Mercedes, there's Range Rover, there's Ferrari, there's Lamborghini, there's like hundreds and hundreds of different types of cars. But a good salesman will convince you that, what do you call it? There's what is it called? There's a Russian car. Is it a Lada or something? I can't remember. It's a weird name, or a Peugeot or something. They go, a Peugeot is the right car for you. And you go, what? Yeah. And then they go, yeah. You go, yeah. A Volvo is really good. When you crash in the Volvo, you can't die. The security features in the Volvo. If value represents safety, if safety represents value, conversely, what happens is you go, I want a Volvo. So your neighbor say, why'd you buy a Volvo, man? It's an old man's car. You go, the safety features in a Volvo, you have no idea. So you as a salesperson, if you don't actually understand that you're not selling a solution, you're selling an idea that will represent a solution based on what's valuable to them. So what you then do is this, right? This is the concept. Now, if you repeat this, how many times you activate, visualize, actualize, and acquire, how many times you have customers do that, that's the representation of somebody who is very successful in selling. So then we look at, the frequency. Is how often does that happen? So you can sell to one person, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, 6 people. If you sell to 10 people every minute, you're going to make more money. If you sell to 10 people every month, that's a really high ticket product, then you're probably still going to do really well. So you need to understand there's a process, and it doesn't really matter what you do, where you work. If you're not learning how to sell your company, your job is short-lived. Because again, we're moving away from manpower to mind power. So your boss wants to know, by this person working in my reception as an administrator, me as a real estate company, how much money do they bring in? So everybody is now a profit center. What does that mean? Acquisition is a job for the entire company. What is acquisition? Customer acquisition. What does that mean? Selling. If you're in a reception, you're in sales. If you're a cleaner, you clean with a smile. Hi, how are you? Great. Oh my God, thanks. Nice to meet you. I'm so sorry. Do you want me to come back later? No. You are selling. You're selling the company. And they start saying, this, my cleaner, people keep looking for Joe. Like, Joe is a really good guy. Like, people come in and say, is Joe here? I saw him the other day. He was smiling and singing as he was cleaning. What a nice guy. What are they saying? What a nice company to come to. So everybody in your company, you included, you're selling. If you run a business and you say, sales is not my thing, I have a sales manager. If they don't do the job, they're fired. You're delusional. It's your job to sell your company. It's your job. It's your responsibility to sell your business, to sell your product. Okay, I'm about to finish, yeah? Okay. The frequency with which you activate the customer, this thing of what is in it for me, and your ability to make them visualize it, right? To make them want to actualize it. I want to have it as part of me, right? And then to acquire it. Your frequency and your consistency in doing that is going to reflect in your bank account. You cannot become rich, you cannot become a master at sales if your conversion is poor. Okay? So what I want to do now is talk about you. What you have to do is, if you agree with me that all of us are in sales, whether you're a bank manager, you are a partner in a law firm, you are in sales. If people don't come and buy your law services, you're going to close down. If your bank does not bring in new customers and you don't have new products, you're not innovative, you're going to close down. All right? So you need to continue to sell. Okay? Master your sales. Be proud of it. Tell people I'm in sales. They go, wow, really? You go, yeah. That's why I wear a Rolex, because I'm in sales. People who work normal jobs cannot buy this watch. It's $30,000. I'm in sales. I create my own revenue. The company needs me. When you're really a master in sales, you can't get fired. Nobody can fire you. They will pay you more to keep you. They will keep increasing until they go, man. So get good at selling. It doesn't matter what you're doing, right? So what do you have to do to become really good at this? Now, listen, write this down. You can write it in the comments just to remember when you watch this video back. Watch your mouth, okay? But before you watch your mouth, watch your mind. Watch your mind. Okay, these are things to watch for. Watch your mind, watch your mouth, watch your action, watch the company you keep. Okay? Because every time you show up somewhere, you come in and you say, I'm here. Okay? Your presence in a place is the beginning of a sale. When you show up, the sales process has started. So, first of all, watch what you're thinking as you show up. Watch what you're going to say before you say it. All right? You got to watch it. You got to go, how do I open this conversation? Watch it. Watch what you're going to say. All right? Watch your actions. What's your body language saying? Are you fidgeting? Are you touching your face? Are you, hi, nice. No. Watch these things. Watch these things. Watch your company. If you show up for a job interview and you're in a nice suit and you're, whatever, and you have your friend in a do-rag and he's got his pants, halfway his ass down here and he's going like this and he's holding a joint in his hand and he said, "What's up, man?" To the receptionist, he said, "Yeah, I'm here with my friend. He's here for an interview." Let me tell you something. That guy in the reception, that girl, is going to call the boss and say, "There's a guy here. You need to come out. You need to come out. Hi, just come out here." And he comes in. The boss who's here to interview you, or, whoever he or she is not going to see you. They're going to see the guy in the do-rag and say, "Who is the guy?" So they're twitching to call security. They go, "Oh, there's a guy here. He's got a joint in his hands. He's wearing a do-rag and his pants are falling off and, and he looks high." And he's just saying, "What's up, man? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening?" And they're going, what are you doing? What can I do for you? I'm here with my friend. Don't talk to me. I'm here to see my friend off. My friend is here for an interview. That interview is dead. Because hiring you means they're hiring your friend. So watch your mouth. Watch your mind first. Watch your mouth. Watch your action. Watch your company that you keep. And one of the things I wrote here is we all have what it takes to be very successful in sales, but we need to link its use to what we want, the objective. We all have what it takes. We need to link the use of those skills to your objective. I want to be financially free. That equals being brilliant in sales. I want to be a really good networker. Equals being really good in sales. Sales, part of sales, because it's a generalized thing. Sales is about negotiation. When you have crazy negotiation skills, you're a bad boy. You're a bad girl. I'm telling you, nobody can mess with you. When it comes to negotiation, don't play with me. Whenever I buy stuff, my policy is very simple. I don't pay for anything unless I feel guilty paying. I don't pay for anything unless I feel guilty paying. You know why I feel guilty? Because I never pay the full price. I always pay half. People come to me, they say, "Danny, you have land?" I say, "I know. If you say you want 200 million, I'm giving you 50. I say, "I start at 50. The guy's like, "Are you crazy?" I say, "Yeah, that's 50. I got 50 cash. Do you want 50 cash? And they go, "Yeah, but that's not enough." Like I say 200. I say, I have 50. I have 50. They go, "But you got to come better." I say, "I have 50. I'm a buyer." I said, "I am buying, but I'm buying at this price." So by the time I pay you the 75 that you end up taking, listen, man, I'm guilty. I'm going, man. I'm going to pay you 76, including your fuel. Because I'm going, man, this guy, it wasn't 200 mil. And I'm saying, I'm giving you 50. You know how I know how to do that? Because I'm a salesman. I'm a bad boy salesman. I study. I love it. I love the art of selling. Do you understand? It will save you. It will get you out of situations. It will get you into situations. I have negotiated deals. I've been on boardrooms and I remember myself. I used to sleep. Listen, one of my pods, my cribs, it was a warehouse, underground warehouse. And there was bags of cement, there was barbed wire, there was iron sheets, there were all kinds of different things. And there was I don't know whether you call it a mouse or a rat. It was this big. It was so big. It was like a cat, right? And that was my neighbor. So I had little lights, and then when you switched on the lights, it would start going zzz, whatever. That was me, right? I went through that life, right? And then I remember being in Chicago, in one of the tallest buildings, just off Michigan Avenue in the World Trade Center. And I'm saying to the president of the World Trade Center, I'm saying, "I can't talk to you right now. You need to come better than that. You're late. I'll check you tomorrow." And I left. And my friend and, the lady who had also taken us there, she's like, "What are you doing, man? Because listen, man, I know what I am. I know my skill. I was there when it was snowing and I was being snowed on. I was there when it was raining. I was there when somebody grabbed my bag and threw it out of the door and all my sewing machines went flying and my teddy bears were screaming in the air because when you touch the stomach, they would just glow and go. So now they're flying in the air. They're screaming. I was there and I had to pick my merchandise and put it back in my bag and smile and say, I'm sorry, sir. Have a nice day. So what are you going to tell me? I'm the president of the World Trade Center. I don't care. I have skills, man. I came in. I had a purpose. I know exactly what I want. And I know you need me. Because my skills are rare. Because people don't take that kind of pain. Are you with me? People don't take that kind of pain. People want it easy because they think when you have it easy, you have everything. I want it tough because then when I get it tough, man, I get to travel first class. I like digging trenches because when I freshen up and I want to sit in a nice place. That's how I like to roll. So sales gives you that. It's an equalizer. It's a corrector. Nobody ever asked me what's your degree, whatever. No, man. I think, don't get me wrong or whatever. This conventional education is like the biggest BS in the world. Like it's stupid, right? People go and study what's the source of the River Nile and, where did this come? And this guy called, it was an explorer. He came here and he was, speaking grand. Like who cares, man? And then how much money is going to be in my bank account? But when I sell that teddy bear, are you kidding me, man? I sell that teddy bear. I know I made $1 today. I go, yeah, I can make $100 today if I go and sell 100 of those things. And there's always a buyer. There's always a buyer. They're not buying value. They're buying you. Hence the concept of it's not a solution. It's the skill that's going to get you the sale. And if you're lucky enough to have a product that represents the skill that you have, man, listen. If you're tired, put a 0 in your comment. I'm about to finish, guys. I'm about to finish. This is one of my favorite subjects. I'm about to finish. But let me give you some nuggets. Yeah. Okay. So sales is a game. It's a game. It's a game of watch your mind. Watch what you do. Okay. What you say is what you're selling. Oh man, listen. What you say is what you're selling. How you doing today? I'm not too bad. That's what you're selling. How you doing, man? I'm feeling a bit tired. That's what you're selling. What's happening, man? How's everything going? Oh man, it's going pretty bad. That's what you're selling. When it goes into your mouth, guess what? That's what happens. I think I've done an hour, so I think I'm going to stop here. We can carry on this conversation tomorrow. I wasn't planning to do an hour. I do apologize. I don't know if Facebook cuts us off. I think we're probably going to be cut off in a minute. But I just want to finish on this, yeah? I want to finish on this. What you're saying is what you're selling. So watch your mouth. Before you watch your mouth, watch your mind. And I'll tell you how you know that you can do good in sales. Sales is a game of numbers. Whenever you have an emergency, you call hundreds of people to look for a little bit of money. You won't stop. You're relentless. You go, let me call Auntie Mabel. Let me call Auntie Mary. Let me call Jane. Let me call Bob. Let me call Peter. Let me just keep calling, man. Just call somebody, If somebody's outside your house, and they're trying to break into your house. You know how your mind takes you very quickly to people who can fix this for you? You start going, let me call, call Kennedy. Kennedy's good. Like he's a police officer. And you start coming up with solutions real fast. But when we ask you to call and get somebody to pay you for some business, you start going, well, I don't know how to do that. We used to see 300 people a day. Ask Romano, he would tell you. If he's still on the call, he would say, yes, Danny. We used to see 300 people a day. So you can do the numbers. The mind you can control because let me tell you why. There's something called a placebo, yeah? A placebo is what they give you. It's a psychological drug. They give it to you. It doesn't affect your physiology. It affects your psychology. All right? They give it to you. When they give it to you, you start feeling better. They go, take this medicine. It's going to make you feel better. So you already know how to feel good. You already know how to put right thoughts in your mind. How you feeling? I'm feeling great, man. How you feeling? Fantastic. I said to a guy at a petrol station, he said, how you doing, man? I said, I'm doing amazing. I said, I'm on top of the world. He got pissed off. He said, what do you mean, mate? This was in Birmingham. He said, what do you mean? He was an Asian guy. He said, why are you telling me you're great? He said, I don't like guys like you, man. You're pretending that everything is okay. I said, dude, I'm good. He was pissed off because I was happy. So I want to tell you this, like, you can do this. A placebo makes you feel better. Guess what? You can tell anything to your brain and it will make you feel better. If you go to a new country, you change your company. You don't know friends, you don't have people, you change your company and you end up, because what we say, you're the average of the 6 people you hang out with, including yourself. So 6 of you, your average attitude, that's what you have. Your average, mindset, that's what you have. Your average mood is what you have. If they're broke, so are you. If they're crooks, so are you. If nobody trusts them, so, are you. You're untrustworthy. So when you change your company, you're selling a different proposition. People say, that's the guy. Yeah, he's a guy. He's got some solid network. He hangs out with those guys. Those are top people. You're a top person because you hang out with top people. Change your company. Change your company. The reason we buy and borrow a suit to go to an interview is because what's your image? Your image is very important. You're selling. The minute they see you, they say not to buy or to buy. So goodbye or nice to see you. Okay? So when they see you, they decide to continue or not to continue. So watch that. Yeah? So change your image. I used to curse. Every second word was I was effing and blinding. Everything I used to say was an F word in the middle, somewhere sideways. I used to stick it everywhere. It was so beautiful as well. I used to think I'm powerful. It was the most stupid thing. So I realized when I stopped cursing, I started making more money. I said, man, not cursing means making more money. Now I'm rich. I can curse if I want to. But really, there are things you have to be careful. Some of you listen to people and they're effing and blinding and they're going, this and this and effing this and effing this. And you go, my coach does that. Your coach is wealthy. You're still broke. So you don't want to break your chain by saying, I'm going to cuss like my boss does. No, don't do that stuff. That's very dangerous, yeah? So watch your image. Your image is very important. And don't copy the bravado, copy the brain. Do not emulate their bravado, emulate their brain. Watch your company. Watch your company. I'm in the best industry in the world. I can create any amount of money, any amount of wealth, and I can meet anybody. I can have any kind of network that I want because I'm in sales. On that note, I'm out. I love you all. Lose your mind. Listen, let's go crazy. Tomorrow is bigger. If you love this, bring your friends tomorrow. And at the end of the 3 days, the one who has the highest participation, I'm going to give you a gift. And the people who know me, my gifts are good. They're not like, you're not going to get a plastic teddy bear. No. They're good gifts. Thank you. God bless you. This is Lose Your Mind. If you're not part of the tribe, join the tribe. There's all sorts of things you can click on and you can join us on YouTube. This is going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on Instagram. It's going to be on Facebook. Thank you. If you enjoyed it, you can put a comment in the box. Share this with as many people as possible. Let's lose our mind. All right? Let's go. Fire. Oh, hold on. The guitar. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's it.